Hey DePaul students, the latest free application for federal student aid, or Fafsa, is now available, so welcome to Fafsa season. You may complete the 2021-2022 application starting on October 1st, 2020. At DePaul, our priority Fafsa filing date is November 15th, so make sure you and possibly your parents are prepared to successfully complete, sign, and submit your application by that day so you don't miss out on any financial aid opportunities. Now, let's go through the basics of the Fafsa. You can complete the Fafsa on a desktop browser by visiting fafsa.gov, or you can download the My Student Aid mobile app. By completing the 2021-22 Fafsa in October of 2020, you are applying for the financial aid for the academic year starting in September 2021, which is great because you'll be getting this out of the way super early. The application will ask you to enter your tax and income information from the 2019 calendar year, so make sure to have any 2019 IRS 1040 tax forms and 2019 income documents with you when completing the application. If you are completing the Fafsa for the first time, you will need to create an FSA ID username and password. These will serve as your login credentials for the application. If you're renewing a Fafsa, you will log in using your previously created FSA ID username and password. The FSA ID username and password also serves as your electronic signature to successfully submit your Fafsa application. To make sure DePaul receives your application, enter our federal school code in the school selection part of the Fafsa. Our school code is 001671. If DePaul isn't included on your Fafsa, we will not receive it. Now, when you're ready to complete the Fafsa, here are 5 tips our DePaul Central counselors would like you to keep in mind. Tip number 1 is to triple check that you correctly entered your social security number and legal name. That means no nicknames and no shortened names. When creating your FSA ID, use the name and number listed on your social security card. If you make a mistake on either of these when submitting a Fafsa, you will later need to create a new FSA ID and recomplete the entire application. If you are required to include parental information on the Fafsa and one or both of your parents does not have a social security number, you should enter all zeros for that person's social security number. You will still be able to electronically complete and submit the Fafsa, but your parent will later need to print and mail a Fafsa signature page. Tip number 2 is to take advantage of the help icons next to each Fafsa question if you're unsure of what the question means or how to answer it. The icons will provide additional information or examples of how you should answer the question. Tip number 3 is to pay close attention to the dependency status section of the Fafsa and make sure you're answering these questions accurately. These questions are broken up into separate sections and there is skip logic involved, so depending on how you answer, you may not encounter all of these questions. At the end of this section, you are presented with your dependency status, which determines whether or not you need to include parental information. Remember, you need to be 24 years old to be considered an independent student on the Fafsa. Tip number 4 is to use the IRS data retrieval tool to import your 2019 tax information directly into the Fafsa application. This simplifies your application experience and ensures the accuracy of your financial information. If you and your parent are eligible to use this tool, we strongly recommend doing so. It'll save you from entering individual dollar amounts, which can lead to mistakes and headaches. If your current financial situation is different than the 2019 information you enter on the Fafsa, it's important that you do not make any changes to that data. Contact DePaul Central and we can walk you through possible appeal opportunities. And lastly, tip 5, which is the most important tip we can offer you, submit your Fafsa with valid signatures. Missing Fafsa signatures is one of the biggest reasons we reach out to DePaul Fafsa applicants. Don't let this be you. Make sure you and your parent, if required, have signed your Fafsa. Your application isn't official without it, and we cannot offer aid without those signatures. DePaul Central is available to help you with any of your Fafsa questions, so drop into our Zoom lobby, give us a call, or send us an email. We're here to help. Good luck with your Fafsa filing.